Ladies and gentlemen, we take pride in presenting
In color. My favorite Marshall.
My Favorite Vinyl with Don Tanner.
Thanks, Johnny, and good morning. This is WEFT, Champaign-Urbana. Welcome to a celebration of music and community as we get to know someone very special to see you and put the needle on the record of guest musical favorites, too. I'm Don Tanner, and I'm very pleased to welcome in this morning Alison Dupre, the Executive Director of Feeding Our Kids. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. I think I did a lot. I was tired when I woke up this morning.
But it's a good kind of tired,
Yeah.
as David Letterman used to say. Well, thank you for joining us. I had the opportunity to meet you through Kiwanis. You've always been very gracious and welcoming, and I appreciate that very much. As I continue to say, fairly new back into town. Let's start a little bit. We're going to talk about your background and play some of your musical favorites. But feeding our kids, food insecurity is a big issue out there, and it's something you guys address every day.
Yeah, so Feeding Our Kids was founded in 2013, about 12 years ago, by two moms who realized there were food insecurity in their schools, and they chose to do something about it. And they started by feeding 18 kids in two schools, and as of this week, we're a little over 1,347 schools across the county.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you focus on weekends, or how does the organization
So
work?
we focus on weekend food, so kind of bridging that gap between what kids might receive during the day at school, like breakfast and lunches,
Right.
and then providing weekend food for those days across the weeks during the school year.
Yeah. Well, it's very important. We talked a little bit before we went on the air of the fact that I've worked with some food organizations in the past, and food insecurity is such a major problem. I can't recall some of the statistics you may know, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but is it something like 1 in 5 kids go to bed hungry every night, or it's something pretty alarming?
Well, there's the food insecurity rates can be slightly different across
Sure,
the country,
sure.
but here in Champaign County, for kids, it's around 16% of kids face food insecurity. So that's between 1 in
Wow.
5 and 1 in 6 kids in the
Yeah.
county. And food insecurity, you can be you don't have enough food or you don't have access to food. And so there's a lot of reasons that can happen. But our main focus at Feeding Our Kids is to make sure we help these kids, we pre-K through middle school, to have food on the weekend so they can come to school on Monday ready to learn. And it just gives them, one more way to kind of help in their lives. And that's what we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And for many kids, going to school and having a meal, or sometimes a couple of meals, is the only sustenance they're going to get during the week, and then the weekends. Then what happens? And there you are.
Yep. So that's what we try to do. We work with we have a small staff. There's 3 of us, but we work with a network of hundreds of volunteers who pack all the bags of food and deliver them to the schools. We operate inside of Eastern Illinois Food Bank,
Yeah.
which serves 21 counties. We
Wow.
just serve the one. And by operating inside of there, we're able to grow and expand as we need and get the food to all the kids in need.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that too. And you're a country girl. We're going to talk about
Yes.
that and play a little John Denver here. Where are you from originally?
So I was actually born in Missouri on a dairy farm. And then when I was 5, my parents moved to closer to St. Louis, where we had standardbred racehorses and probably pretty much any animal
Oh,
you
wow.
could think of except goats. And then more recently, I helped them operate a poultry farm here closer to Champaign after they had moved.
Yeah, very cool. Let's talk more about that. John Denver, this is a great song. It means something special to you, or just the whole country feel?
The country feel.
Yeah. Well, let's give it a listen on WEFT and My Favorite Vinyl. You'll recognize it. It's John Denver, 1971. Listener supported and volunteer run since 1981. WEFT at 90.1 FM. And support for My Favorite Vinyl is provided in part by CU CD and Vinyl in downtown Urbana. New and used CDs and vinyl, including rare imports and limited releases. SCEYOU CD and Vinyl, located behind the Elm City Roastery on Main Street in Urbana. Also CU CD and Vinyl on all social platforms. We're joined in the studio here in downtown Champaign with Alison Dupre, the executive director of Feeding Our Kids. And Take Me Home, Country Roads. You've walked down a few country roads in your day.
Just a few, yep.
And you said your mom was a big fan of John Denver?
Both my parents probably are big fans of John Denver as well as other music from that era.
Yeah, well, he was very popular at that time. What are some other childhood memories that are special to you? I mean, you're around a lot of animals.
Yep. So, like I said earlier, I was born on a dairy farm, but then when I was younger, about 5, we moved to more southern Illinois, and our family trained standardbred racehorses.
Wow.
So I grew up in the racehorse industry, traveling to many states, and
That had to be fascinating.
It was helped my dad train racehorses. We had a breeding farm for a few years, and I did some riding and rodeo as well on non-standardbred quarter
Really?
horse. And
You actually would get in there and lasso?
I did some roping with my horse. He didn't really like cows, so it wasn't cool. But
Not
we did
everybody does.
barrel racing and poles. And,
That's very cool.
And things like that. But it was a whole family operation for the racehorses, and even all through college.
Wow.
And a lot of fun. And my dad has always been big into agriculture with the animals, with the horses. And then, like I said, not so long ago, we did a commercial poultry farm where we sold eggs across 3 counties here locally.
Yeah. So in southern Illinois, where in southern Illinois?
Greenville, Illinois, so on I-70, not too far from St. Louis.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
so not southern
Yeah.
Illinois, but more
My
southern.
wife's from down there. My mom's from down there.
Yeah.
So we get back quite often. We're gonna play an artist next, Rachel Platten, and tell us about this song. This is a very, very special song where you overcame some adversity.
Yeah, so when this hymn came out, I had been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease right around that time, and it was a really, really rough time. Still trying to do all the things and raise kids and
Sure.
be all the things, and you kind of get hit and blindsided by something that you didn't think would happen to you. And so I would listen to the song on the radio, and it just kind of made me feel like, you know what? I can do this. And I did.
You did it.
I still have the disease, but I've been able to manage it and everything. But
Wonderful.
during that time, it's like sometimes you hear things and you just need that little bit of kind of that boost to be like, you got this. And of course, there were lots of people in my life, like my husband and my parents
Sure.
and everybody who, was so helpful during that time. But, sometimes just listening to music kind of makes you feel like, hey, I think I'll be okay.
It can be powerful emotionally, and this goes back to 2016. Didn't realize this went back almost 10 years. Her debut album, Wildfire, and this is Fight Song, WEFT, my favorite vinyl.
Like a small boat, I've still got a lot of fire left in me.
90.1 FM, WEFT, Rachel Platten, a song curated by our special guest this week, Alison Dupre, Executive Director of Feeding Our Kids. We wanted to talk more about the organization. What you do is so important with food insecurity across racial lines, across geographic lines, across socioeconomic lines. Tell us more about the organization and how you work.
So as I mentioned earlier, I have staff of 3 and lots of volunteers, but one of the ways, the main way that kids are identified is we partner with the social workers or school liaisons at our 47 programs, and they would identify the students in need and then send the food home with them before the weekend.
Gotcha.
But we maintain anonymity, so we actually don't know any of the students we serve. The social workers help us with that, and they make sure that these kids get what they need. And some of the kids, they might be in the program all through pre-K and elementary school, but sometimes something happens in your family, someone loses a job or there's a health crisis,
Right.
and you go through a difficult time, and we're like, some of the social workers have mentioned that we're one of the kind of the easiest ways to get food to the family, because it's just, if you need it, the parents give consent, the social worker sends it home. So there's not a lot that anyone has to do in order to receive the food.
Is it given to a child or their family at the school, or how
So
does that work?
with most of the schools, the social workers would put it in the backpack
Gotcha.
before they go home for the weekend. And so, they'll the youngest kids would probably bring it home to mom and dad, and then they would use it. And then for our middle schoolers, same thing. They get the bags before the weekend. We've changed that a menu a little bit, because a lot of the middle schoolers are on the go all the time. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot of quick, heat and eat stuff they can take with, even if it's like a sports practice that weekend or something that they maybe don't
Sure.
have something for.
Sure.
And our menus are developed by our registered dietitian, Michaela Cruz. She's helps plan the menus, orders the food, tries to balance our shelf-stable food as best as possible.
And
she
with
does
nutrition.
With nutrition,
Yeah.
she does a great job at being very creative sometimes on what was available and what we can send home in a bag that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not too heavy for the kiddos.
And so it typically will last them through a weekend.
The goal is
the
to
goal.
kind of mimic what they would receive in school. So the 2 breakfasts, the 2 lunches, the snacks. It's not, nothing is ever 100% perfect, but we try to do our very best to make sure that kids have something they need for that weekend before they come back to school on Monday.
Yeah. Well, very, very, very special work that you do. Let's play another song.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll. Tell us why you like Jelly Roll.
So,
a lot of people like Jelly Roll. 'Cause
yeah,
it's really
I
good.
actually don't know a whole lot of his songs, but last year when his song "I Am Not Okay" came out, it's one of those songs where it seems a little dark maybe, but more of it's like we all go through things at different times,
Sure.
and it's sort of like I always feel like even though there's a rough patch or something, it's like everything will be okay. Like we'll all get through it. We're in it together. Your friends, your neighbors, your
Absolutely.
community. And so that's why I like his song.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's from his album Beautifully Broken, released last year. And here it is on WEFT.
I'm not okay, but it's all gonna be alright.
You're listening to Community Radio for East Central Illinois, WEFT. We appreciate you. You may be listening to us terrestrially in the car or streaming us at WEFT.org. You can listen via the WEFT app, too. You'll find show archives on the app, and you can find us on YouTube at My Favorite Vinyl with Don Tanner. We record the show, and we'll post it after that as well. It's 8:21. It's a Monday morning, and welcome to it. We welcome Alison Dupre, the Executive Director of Feeding Our Kids, talking about her organization and just basically getting involved in community in general. And you're very involved with a number of organizations.
Yeah, so I've lived here almost 30 years. I think 29 years, just over 29 years.
Yeah.
And even in college, volunteer Illini projects. But this is a very amazing community to get involved with.
Yeah.
There's so many things and so many different things to choose from, whatever your passion is. But 2 of the things that are very important to me is I'm a member of CU Kiwanis.
Yeah.
And so their focus is on helping children.
Yep.
And since my organization, Feeding Our Kids, does that, and I've always kind of been drawn towards things that help children because, children sometimes need a voice. Like we all need a voice, but children
Sure.
definitely
Yeah.
need a voice. And so Kiwanis does so much in the community, supporting organizations and volunteering.
That's why I'm getting involved and should officially join very soon.
Yes. And that has been fantastic because it's just a group of people that I, care about, and I feel like they're all just there to do good.
It's a very welcoming organization that does
Yeah.
great things.
Yeah. And so my husband and I are able to join together. We joke that we joined so we could have lunch together once a month because our schedules are so busy.
It's very true. Lunches are good.
Yeah. But then the other thing that I've been involved with for 8 years now is Cat Snap. So they're a local cat rescue. And I actually got involved when my daughter was 13. She was looking for she wanted to volunteer with animals. And I'm like, let's look around. So we found Cat Snap. So we've been volunteering together for 8 years. And she brought 2 of her friends in too.
Oh, how nice.
And so now we socialize the cats. We help clean. We help with adoption events. And then in the last 2 years, I've actually started bringing cats on TV and the radio to, promote Cat Snap. And
That's
so it's also a great way. I've always been drawn to animals too, obviously. I grew up on a farm, but, animals and helping children are 2 very worthy causes for me because I believe in helping those who need the most help.
Absolutely. And as they say, maybe it's a cliche, but it's very true. They are our future.
They are.
So
Children, they're our future. My 2 children are adults now, young adults.
Mine too.
But we need to give back And I feel like I need to give back to help others in whatever way I can. And for anyone, it can be a very small way, it can be a large way, it can be, with volunteering or donating, but I feel like there's so many ways in this community, especially in Champaign-Urbana, that you can give back and help in so many different ways.
So people want to get involved with your organization, Feeding Our Kids. What's the best way to do that, and to learn more about your organization?
Yep. So if you go to our website at feedingourkids.org, you can find information on there, as well as there's a button to click for volunteering if you're interested in volunteering. So we take volunteers ages 5 and up. So obviously if you're young, you're going to come with your mom or dad, but volunteers will pack bags of food that go to the schools. And then we also have some volunteers who are drivers. So we have 36 drivers to deliver to 47 schools across the county. And they'll pick up the bins of food, take them to the schools, and then the social workers will distribute before the weekend. But so volunteering with Feeding Our Kids is an easy way to get involved. You can bring your whole family. We also have students, college students and high school students who come and join us. And you, how do people donate? It's money? It's not food. It's money. I mean, people do food drives for us, but the main way we get funds to do what we need to do is through monetary donations. And so there's also a way to donate online if you're interested in supporting Feeding Our Kids. $150 supports a child for the whole year, basically in terms of food.
Really?
The cost of food. But we recently our nutrition director, Michaela, just did an analysis on the cost per bag. Because people always wonder, how much does it cost? And it actually turns out it averages about $4.32 per bag that we're able to, with our bulk purchasing. And
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so we're able to do that with all of our menu items. But feedingourkids.org if you want to learn more or get involved. We'd love to have you volunteer with our organization.
Well, great to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. And tell us about the last song we're going to hear that you put together as one of your favorites.
So Nathan Evans and St. Fink's Cotton Eye Joe, it actually just recently came out, so I can't say that this song is my all-time favorite, but I've always liked the tune. And I remember in college, we would always go to these parties and they'd play this song and we'd be like, woo!
The end of the night?
I don't know, at some point in the night. But I've always just liked the tune, and the remake of this one is fun. I think it's Irish or Scottish, and it's just more fun. So I enjoy listening to it for no other reason than just listening to it.
with another group, St. Fink's, is a part of this as well. So we're going to play that for you here at Cotton Eye Joe and on WEFT, my favorite vinyl. Again, Alison Dupre from Feeding Our Kids. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
On a pink sky misty morning back in 1990. Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Great song, Nathan Evans, St. Phoenix, and Cotton Eye Joe, another song that was curated by Alison Dupre, Executive Director, Feeding Our Kids. Again, thank you so much for coming in here. It's 8:31 on a Monday, and I am Don Tanner. We're going to play you some music here in a second. So we're going to go to the Vinyl Vault and see what happened on this day in history. Also play some local artists and a brand new Robert Plant. You're going to like this record. A lot, I guarantee you. And all of that is coming up in just a moment. WEFT weather, the summertime has returned. Continued sunny, hot, and humid today with a high of around 91. In fact, overnight clear with a low of 61. And for Tuesday, more of the same, sunshine and a high of 86. Right now in town, it is 64 degrees. And time for the WEFT Vinyl Vault. We're going to take a look inside and see what historically happened musically on this date in history, September 29th. 1967 today, drummer Mickey Hart performed on stage with the Grateful Dead for the very first time at the Straight Theater in San Francisco. 1977, Billy Joel released his 5th studio album, The Stranger, a huge record for him. It was his first album to enter the top 20 on the Billboard Pop Chart and would eventually reach number 2. And in 1979, The Police hit number 1 in the UK with their single Message in a Bottle from their second album, Regatta del Bloc. We're not going to play that. We tend to play album cuts here, so we're going to play a cut off the LP, Bring On the Night, on WEFT. FM, WEFT. That's local artist Liz Allen. It's the title cut to her album Boyish, holding it up for our YouTube folks. Sorry you can't see that if you're listening on the radio today, but tune in on YouTube in a couple of days and you will see that. It's from Pretzel Records. They were out at WEFT Fest over the weekend, and I hope you made it out as well. It was a great time. We were out here all day yesterday. It was really a birthday party for us, but more than that, a listener/customer appreciation event with great bands, Kittens Incorporated and Mousepad and K-Tells all out here. Sarah Sass Ciders. Of course, her dad is Bruce Hall from REO. He was here, so it was really cool, and really it was a culmination of a lot of hard work and wrapping up our fall donation drive as well. You can always support us anytime, and we appreciate that by going to weft.org. It's 20 in front of 9 o'clock. My name is Don Tanner, and support for My Favorite Vinyl is provided in part by CU CD and Vinyl in downtown Urbana. New and used CDs and vinyl, including rare imports and limited releases, SCEYOU CD and Vinyl. They're located behind the Elm City Roastery on Main Street in Urbana, and CU CD and Vinyl on all social platforms. Also want to let you know before we get back into the music, the Champaign Farmers Market is back and in its former location. Look for the market every Tuesday from 3 to 6 at the corner of Neal Street in Washington, next to the newly completed downtown plaza. It's a great space. New to the Farmers Market this year is Rhythm and Roots, the weekly live music festival brought to you by the City of Champaign, again on the new downtown plaza stage. And for more information, go to thelandconnection.org. That's thelandconnection.org. Well, Robert Plant, yes, that Robert Plant, has a brand new album. It's called Saving Grace. It's his first new solo album since 2017. It's really cool. Some folkish standards, Celtic feel, really different. It features covers music from Memphis Minnie, Blind Will Johnson, and also Moby Grape's Bob Mosley. We're going to play you a song from that right now. It's called The Gospel Plow, and this is WEFT, where, of course, it doesn't have to be old to be a favorite. We are your alive and local community radio station at 90.1 FM, WEFT. Todd Rundgren with Utopia. Second Nature going back to 1980. Also some great brand new Robert Plant. Saving Grace, his new album. The views and opinions expressed on air are solely those of the speaker and do not necessarily represent those of WEFT Champaign, Prairie Air Incorporated, station management, the board of directors, or the WEFT associates. Going to play some more music in a moment from CSNN, also a great contemporary folk artist I just recently discovered called Gregory Alan Isaacoff. That is his name. Dark is the name of the record. And also going to see if we can fit in some Lisa Gerrard, some movie music from her from the 2004 soundtrack to Layer Cake. She, of course, with Dead Can Dance, and has done some great other soundtrack work with Gladiator and The Insider. A special Illinois reparations public hearing will be held on Saturday, October 4th from 10 until 1 at Krannert Center's Caldwell Playhouse. It's sponsored by the State of Illinois African Descent Citizens Reparations Commission. This will be the Urbana stop on the statewide public hearings exploring reparatory actions for Black Americans in Illinois. For more information, CUReparationsCoalition.com. That's CUReparationsCoalition.com. I appreciate you listening. Monday Morning Jazz is coming up in just a moment. We hope you'll tune in again next week at 8 o'clock, where our special guest will be Urbana Mayor Deshaun Williams. In the meantime, make it a great day and a great week, and keep on listening right here to WAFT.